stinks. And I says, oh, thank you. I says, which one was that? She says, I don't know. It's a yellow one. I just wanted to call you and tell you it's worthless. Boom, and hung up. Well, I got a call the next day. Dr. Ammon? Yes. We got to talk. And I says, did you call yesterday? And she says, I don't think so. So she came into my study, and she came up to the desk, and she said, now listen, let's get some things straight. I'm going to come in here, and you're going to talk, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to go out that door the same person I was when I walked in here. So I'll sit down, and you talk. Go ahead. That was her attitude. But you know what her problem was? Her problem was that she wasn't ready to begin to yield to the situation as it was happening. And her children didn't make it any better because they kept telling her, get over it. Come on, it's been 4 months since he died. Married 52 years, and after 4 months he passed, and she wasn't ready I hear from her too. I get emails from her continually because the time came when she was ready, although she's still pretty angry at everything. But yielding is when Jesus said in the garden, not my will, but thy will be done. Can you see the process that he went through? Only he had to go through it quick because he didn't have a long time to go through it. Some people take a longer time to go through it, but he went through it. He yielded, not my will. But make certain as you go through it before then, you never withdraw your emotions. If you're taking care of a loved one, don't ever withdraw your emotions from them when you accept the fact that you know they're going to pass. It's very important. And incidentally, don't ever stick one of my books in someone's face who's not ready to deal with their religion or with their yielding to their situation, because I'll get another telephone call, and I don't want to get another telephone call. It's a simple but tough process. We surrender to his will. Thy will be done. What must I go through to bring God glory in my situation or what my loved one is going through? It takes him in me to be all I need. Christ in you, the hope of glory, Colossians 1:27. We grow in his love and suffering. I learn to trust him, for my hope is in him. I learn to rest in him. What does Jesus tell us? That I should strive earnestly to enter into that rest, because he who is resting has ceased from his own labors. Stop trying to help God out. Just let him work through you. One spiritual day at a time. Though the outward man is perishing, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. If we'll never die, why is it so hard? Well, the task is bigger than us. I was one time ministering to a lady, and her mom and her dad were in the same room. Her mom was in one bed, dad was in the other bed, and I was standing in the middle. They were trying to talk, and they couldn't hear each other. They were both old. They were passing, both of them. So I decided, well, I'll help them out. So I held each one of their hands. And as I held their hands, I was saying what the other one wanted to say. And years of their history and their love was going through me. And I'll tell you, it was like holding on to 220 lines, because I knew I didn't belong there. This was too wonderful for me. This is something that that should be private to them, but God had chosen to use me to communicate back and forth to one another. So what will this experience do for our family, our church, or our friends? Will it divide us? You know, did you ever notice the division sometimes in Christian families after a person died? I know a lady, she had a lot of jewels, and she had 5 daughters. And she one day called her daughters while she was on her deathbed and had someone pull a table into the room. She took all of her jewelry and threw all of her jewelry on the middle of the table. And she said, now I want each one of you girls to pick what you want. She says, because I want to see this fight while I'm alive. And it's a shame, because that happens. But it draws us closer to what God wants for us. And how do we win victory? Well, define victory. Victory is defeating an enemy or an opponent, or an overcoming tough situation. And sometimes it gets tough for some of us. The little lady, Sister Anna on the left, she was passing and in a nursing home, and every time I would see her, she would beg me to tell God to let her die. I want to die. I want to go home. I'm not myself. I'm not nice to the nurses. I really don't like myself. I really, ask God if he'll take me home. And she used to beg me. And sometimes we used to be praying and singing, and she used to practice dying. We'd be praying and singing, and she'd go, like, this is my last breath. And then she'd start breathing, and she'd feel terrible. One morning I went in, and she says, I got to tell you something. I said, what's that? She says, you know what happened today? And I says, what? She says, I led that little nurse to